As the only actual character from Final Fantasy XI, Shantotto has the distinct honor of being recognizable. I have to admit I know nothing about Final Fantasy XI. When I was younger and saw cool cutscenes from Dissidia, I once searched up Shantotto, and then typed Final Fantasy X. Because I didn't even realize that Final Fantasy XI was an actual game. Regardless, onto her active abilities. Livid Shantotto's finally received the upgrade she was supposed to get a decade ago, so I'll go over them as well. Wind Crusher deals 1 magic damage and chains of a triple bolting strike. It also lowers the enemy's wind resistance by 120%, raises her magic by 250%, and raises her wind damage by 10%. Why, you litto? Grants her resistance to magic breaks and completely fills her limit burst gauge. After 2 turns, it'll automatically fill her limit burst gauge by half, and then it'll fill the rest on the following turn. Her other active abilities aren't really worth mentioning, so we'll just move on. Passives. She's gained a magic killer against beasts and humans, beasts more so than humans, has a small limit burst damage buff, increased chain cap, and a total modifier boost to all magic damage abilities. That's going to come into play with her limit burst. It's not very strong and hasn't really been improved, but it's the abilities that it enables that will take center stage here. Each of them have been improved, or at least they would have, if the game didn't think ability awakenings weren't important. Regardless, they're just elemental attacks that get stronger with each use. If you've upgraded the limit burst, they'll chain with Chaos Wave. Ideally, the upgraded limit burst would also enable a quadruple cast, letting you ramp up the rate of improvement by considerable degrees. Time to change forms. Livid Shantotto's Brave Shift doesn't have a turn duration, but it does have a 2-turn cooldown. For the first time in the game, it also changes the unit's name. She's now former Oristary Minister Shantotto, and it's a nice touch, even though I don't really see its significance. Onto her active abilities. Divine Crusher is Wind Crusher, but it's divine, I mean light. Flame Crusher and Bow Crusher are the same things, but with fire and lightning respectively. Also, their damage modifier is weaker than the upgraded Brave abilities. Glowing Retribution deals light magic damage that chains with a triple bolting strike. For the record, all of these abilities chain with a triple bolting strike, so her apparent lack of a triple cast isn't a problem. Passives. With her Trustmaster Reward or Super Trustmaster Reward equipped, she'll gain a lot of equipment magic so long as she's purely holding a single weapon. Additionally, she's now an Extreme Human Killer, with a chunky limit burst damage boost and a decent boost to her limit burst gauge fill rate. Speaking of which, onto her limit burst. It deals big light damage, though the modifier isn't as exceptionally high as some of our recent physical damage dealers. Let's rank Brave abilities. Raising Wind Crusher and Divine Crusher just raises their damage output, so it's really up to you. Time to make a damage rotation. I'll assume Livid Shantotto's abilities have been awakened, unlike whatever you see here. On turn 1, activate Why You Litto, and then cast Wind Crusher. On turn 2, activate her Limit Burst. On turn 3, turn into former Oristary Minister Shantotto and quadruple cast Eroga 5+. And then keep spamming that attack as you please. Of course, once her buffs dissipate, you can pause to activate Wind Crusher once again. So how good are Livid Shantotto's upgrades? They make her stronger. Very simple. Notably, you don't have to stick with Wind. Her upgraded Limit Burst gives you 6 different variations, though her Wind, Fire, and Lightning attacks will stand out the most as she individually has access to additional elemental damage buffs and critical imparos. Of course, if you have other units that can provide said effects, go ahead and put Livid Shantotto on a team of them. Her damage output will certainly be reliable, though admittedly, you may have some difficulties finding a partner to quadruple chain of Chaos Wave. Regardless, if you want to slot in an elemental magic damage dealer, then Livid Shantotto will be a great and flexible choice, so long as you're not looking for big dark damage. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you summon Livid Shantotto. On a separate note, Wizardish Shantotto's Super Trustmaster reward has also been buffed. The magic stat has risen considerably, and it's only made better with that passive limit burst damage buff. It's a nice surprise, given that Black Mage VB Super Trustmaster reward is still awaiting its buff.